Hey guys, so this is the recap after the game. Um, we kind of knew that Ackworth wasn't going to be there until 8:30, so we knew that we had to kind of do a few things here and there to stall. Rudy did a good job of bringing us to the guild house to retrieve our payment for doing the book transfer at the university. Um, in this process, Icy and Mallet got a chance to be introduced and start employment, though without signing any contracts, with the guild house. And I don't remember her name that runs the guild house. Yeshi, there we go. And start their employment with Yeshi. And then while eating, Yeshi came out to talk to all of us and suggest that we help with a wagon shipment that needed to go up to the monastery. And of course, questions were asked what kind of monastery, and we found out it was a monk monastery of tranquility. High interest for Soren. Was very interested in going, and and so yeah, we decided we would go do that. And in the process of this, Miguel talked to a crazy dude in a metal hat, square, rectangular-ish kind of metal hat, and that guy said something to him along the lines of some conspiracies and thoughts like that. And one of them was about the cube. Miguel basically thought nothing of it, said to everyone else, this guy, crazy guy's over there talking about a cube. No one put any thought into it after that. Also during this time, Sam had purchased a backpack full of candy, and despite eating quite a bit of it himself, he gave half the backpack to Katie, the little girl in the guild house, after teaching her some form about fighting and things like that, and proceeded to try and have her taunt Miguel. When this happened and she tried hitting Miguel, Miguel thought it was funny, grabbed the chair, pulled, and started defending himself with the chair. She got yelled at, and he took a couple points of damage to the knee, or shin. And if anyone's been hit by a wooden sword from a kid who doesn't know any better to pull punches or anything like that, they're swinging as hard as they can. That hurts. Anyway, let me see, I'm trying to think of anything else really. Oh, yeah, well, as we were leaving, Mr. Silver came in. Mr. Silver was the man that we rescued from the whirlpool, and he is in some sort of agreement with the guild house and Darius, that he's their benefactor, I guess, of some sort, kind of like a loan shark or something of that sort is what our group was kind of guessing. We basically, in no uncertain terms, let him know that we don't really like you, and there's something about you that we don't care for. And Sam and Miguel both kind of made it very clear that they want to end him. But Darius was very cautious about all of that and was telling us to just leave it alone. Mallet, I don't believe he's told anyone this. He kind of gave Soren a sign that he was kind of like, no, don't antagonize this guy, because with his insight, he could tell that Darius was scared of this guy. So, along that lines, we moved on. Miguel decided that he was going to track this guy, and so he sleight of hand, hunters marked Mr. Silver, and is going to follow him about town and kind of get the idea of him. Maybe even try and kill him in his sleep. Who knows? So there was that. He stayed behind while the rest of us went to the temple. Before all that happened, we ended up going back to the barracks. People found their beds. We decided that we would do our get to know each other chat on the way to the temple, because it would be best for us to get a full night's sleep, letting Rudy learn his spells, and yeah. And of course Miguel took Akrith to a whorehouse, where the pimp of the house, he ain't into the drugs. He ain't into that stuff. It's a clean establishment. You ain't got nothing to worry about here. That one was for you, Akrith. Made you severely uncomfortable. Anyway, so at which point they had their little time there and moved on. They met up with us in the morning at the guild house. Soren woke up in the morning, did some calisthenics. He had bought some monk-style prayer beads the day before, just something that you could kind of go to a Zen place, close your eyes, do this type of thing while playing with them, saying your prayers, not playing with them. No particular god, just, I think for him it's probably more reaffirmance and things like that to try and ease his mind and keep him at peace. And did some prayers, did some exercises, and of course was not very quiet about it, so Sam came out, as did Gesh. And Gesh had surprising form, nat 20. As soon as they went on to the prayer, I think they kind of both did their own thing, but I think Sam said he went on to practicing his form some. So I've got my little exercise group in the mornings. Anyway, so from there we went to the guild house, had coffee, had food, and that's when we met Mr. Silver. So I apologize. It wasn't when we were there earlier. It was in the morning. That all happened. We left. Miguel stayed behind, and we got on the wagon trail. Soren kind of started playing 20 questions with people, because it didn't seem like anyone was really willing to get to start, so he just looked right at Gesh, who was standing right next to him, and said, "So Gesh, what's your deal?" And he kind of started going about the place doing that. In that process, what we found out, Gesh has no family. He has only known captivity. He was a slave pretty much most of his life. He escaped. In that escape, apparently managed to help the other Dragonborn slaves escape. He spent about 10 years exploring, being I didn't write it down, but he put it, basically a nomad or an outlander. There we go, outlander is what he said. Being an outlander and just doing things here and there. I asked him if having no family and being captive was kind of what led to him being a raging barbarian, or someone that was always mad. And he said, "Yeah, that's what I tap into for my power." And then he was captured, like most of us, by slavers. It's gotta suck. Always being sold off into slavery. And one of the big things he's a big proponent on is freedom. When Soren took some time to read through his book a book that he had the night before, which is the Boundless Tomes of Draconic Conspiracies. Draconic Conspiracies. Which, by the way, he found more references to the cube in there from the Draconic group up north, the Draconids. Apparently worship this and have dragonborn slaves. So when this was mentioned to Gesh and Vashlak, they both wanted to go up there and just kill him. Gesh because he wants to free them, Vashlak because it's a test of her mettle. She's always going out testing the mettle. And actually, I don't know this. So, Vashlak, if you can, get in the comments and let me know. I don't think I ever put this down. Is your character male or female? I should have that written down for every character. Might help me out. Anyway, so Vashlak was next on my list, of course, because I was like, well, we'll go from one Dragonborn to the next, right? We found out that, again, no family. Grew up in a desert as a nomad and just likes to fight. Always wants to better Vashlak's fighting technique, prowess, wants to always one up himself. So I think at one point Rudy even said, "Oh, hey, back in the city, we've got a proving ground kind of type of place, an arena." Hey, Vashlak was like, "Yes, let's go." Why aren't we there now? Wasn't a whole lot to the story for our Dragonborn friends, which makes sense if you've been captured as a slave for most of your life, or you just never had family. You wouldn't have you don't always necessarily have a lot of background. Anyway, so then moved on to Icy, and I don't remember why I started talking to her, but I moved on. Soren moved on, and from there we found out that Professor Icewind Dale has got her doctorate or master's. I can't remember which one he said. At Waterdeep, the college in Waterdeep, has family, mother, father, a large family of aunts and uncles and cousins and things like that. Without being rude, Soren found out that Soren is older. So Soren's at 34. Icy's younger than that. But the doctorate or degree was on Drizzt Do'Urden and his adventures and things like that. So Bardic history, I think, would be kind of that style of theses and all that. Anyway, also kind of found out that through talking with Mallet that her family is very political. Soren asked if that meant that her mother was a masked lord. And for those of you that need this information again, the masked lords run Waterdeep, and they all wear masks to conceal who they are when they're together talking about how to run the city. So that way, there's no way to say, "Oh, well, this person always votes this way about these type of items or things," because they have business that is supported by that. You know, that type of thing. And I should have had Anthony have me make a check on that. So if we want to, if that needs to be rolled out for any reason, I don't know if necessarily Soren would have known that information. I mean, he might have, because the Mass Lords are fairly well known. I would think that's the concept, but let me know. Anyway, so that's what that, and we found that out about Icy. Mallet is in her service. He doesn't do anything illegal. But he's working his way up to try and be a part of the guard of Waterdeep, and has a small family. Is using Icy as kind of his way to become one of the elite guards, I guess. And that's how he ended up here. He's using the political gain of Icy's family to better himself. And we know that they came to this world different than the rest of us. So a lot of us came because we were captured by slavers. Icy and Mallet came because they were in the middle of a dragon cave, and their next couple steps were no longer in a cave. They were in the basement of the university library where we all are. So it's not just something that happened out in the ocean to drive us into this weird. There's some sort of event that keeps happening to drag us all here. From Rudy, we found out that he has a brother that he remembers. We at least hope he has a brother. He used the sending spell to try and talk to him, and has still yet to receive anything back. We found out that I can't read my own writing. That he used to steal books from the university to try and learn magic so he could get back home. And his only real memory was being in the doorway while his brother was coming up to him and telling him to hide from the bad guys. We kind of got some information. The bad guys kind of looked like guards. But his brother saved him. So whatever happened to his brother after that, I mean, it doesn't seem like it looks good for the rest of us. But that with the way that Icy and Mallet got here, it is quite possible that he is also from Faerun, and now we're in this weird realm wherever it is. We won't know until he gets his memory back. Who knows how? Who knows if we'll be able to do that? He's had some greater restorations, and still doesn't have it back. So this might be a permanent memory loss thing, or until something snaps it. And this time, Soren let him know that, because he was also talking about how he doesn't feel like he's a good wizard. Soren was first trying to point out right away that, hey, I spent years looking in magic books that I had access to that contained spells. Things like light, prestidigitation, so simple, dancing lights, something simple. And I couldn't even get a spark. Couldn't get anything. So he was trying to reassure that Rudy was a good wizard. Just had one spell that kind of mucked things up once, and that wasn't even his fault. Then we found out from Akrith that her father William and mother Isildur, who is the half elf, and then the father is a human. They had their kids, and were kind of vagabonds, as she put it. They followed the warm weather up and down the coast, as a entertainment troupe. When I said bardic troupe, Akra said, yeah. He said, yeah, but it and then kind of faltered. So it sounded more just like an entertainment troupe, kind of like not a traveling circus, but a traveling show of some sort. You can put down in the comments one way or the other, or let us figure that out more in depth later. And then we had a thing where we wanted Rudy to detect thoughts and see if that would help us with sending spells and things like that. And really, we tested out his sending spell. He started writing a script, writing a scroll. There we go, a scroll for it, and we got to the point where Sam wanted him to read his thoughts. And what he ended up getting was not Sam's thoughts, but the dragon. I wrote that down, didn't I? Please tell me I wrote that down. Bartholomew, I think, was what you said. The dragon name was. I thought I wrote it down, but I don't see it. But you got those thoughts, which, if I can, with the story that you gave us, is very different and confusing. But anyway, and that hurt and gave them exhaustion. They are now exhausted, but Rudy knows the truth of dragons now and understands they were real, and we definitely are from not that we're not in Kansas anymore type of deal. So we got a lot of good information. We had to stop on the wagon trail because the rain came and was slowing us down, and had to stop off in a hunting lodge. It was searched for magic, for anything, and nothing was there. So it is just an empty hunting lodge. Thank you. Didn't want to walk outside next. Well, we haven't walked outside yet. Hopefully we don't walk outside and find out that, hey, it's been another 5-10 years and they're wondering where that shipment is. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what we have so far. We've gone through pretty much everyone's backstory. Miguel says he's gone through his backstory. We there's adventures of him and Tulio that are untold. That whether you guys have actually come up with those or not, we don't know. If there's just the basic random thieving and causing mischief, then okay. Anyway, that's the story. Soren has yet to get into everything. You guys have a couple pieces of information, but maybe we'll get to that Wednesday. Anyway, that's all for now, guys. I've talked your ear off way too long. Bye.